FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoyway. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. Man, I was hauling tail, pause, because love being on time. Oh man, I love being on time when I start these live Jeep stream, these Jeep talks. Don't judge me. I had to grab some leftovers for breakfast because I ain't really feel like making nothing for breakfast. So I grabbed the fish and French fries I had. Shout out to Golden Wings Fish and Chicken. Good place to eat. You. Um I'm gonna give us a chance some people to join the room, me to catch my breath, and then we're gonna have a conversation. Because I was watching Shay, the Shay and Haha Davis the other day, and I don't know if I was watching the actual show or if I was watching somebody react to it and conceptualize the difference between Haha Davis and Drewski. And it was a clear difference to me that one of them had a better in my predicament of thinking, long-term plan than the other. And I think a lot of it dealt around finances and how to get money and things like that. And I felt like it was a good conversation to have a talk in the Jeep Talks. You guys know we wake up in the morning, we had these Jeep Talks while I drive to work. My son actually, shout out to Xavier, and shout out to me and my daughter too. My son has one more day left of school. And so after that, he goes to his mother's in New York for the summer, but he does come back for basketball camp for 2 weeks. So you're going to see me trying to probably doing a little bit more of these lives. I got some other things in the works. We'll see how that goes. And then this Friday we're going back to Colombia. We'll be in shout out to Eddie J. What up? We'll be in Bogota first because we got a layover in Bogota on Friday night, and then from the 20th to the 28th we'll be in Barranquilla, Colombia. So again, this Friday I'll be going to Bogota like right after work. Again, tomorrow is my son's last day of school, so it makes it a lot easier to not have to pick him up from school on Friday, and I can go straight to the airport to catch the flight to Bogota. Shout out to Jay Brash in the building. All right, gave you guys a little time. We worked up our conversational skills, and we caught our breath from all this running around. We just had this conversation. All right. If you're just tuning in, this is Jeep Talk episode 78. How to create content. There is no right way. There is no wrong way. But there is a clear difference with creators and how they create content, how they invest in themselves, and how they take donations. For all those that know, I am a person who firmly believes in investing in yourself. My whole life, I've been investing in myself to the point where at 35, I became a millionaire. I owned a condo on the water in Miami Beach. I just sold it after almost 5 years, about a month away from 5 years. I own dividends. I own stocks. I own 2 real estate properties. Because I'm a firm believer in passive income. You know, one thing I realized is that when people don't, unfortunately, when people aren't educated in financial literacy, they create definitions for themselves versus going on the definition that something actually is. And that's not just a financial literacy thing. That might be a life thing. When people don't do the research, they don't take their time to actually research before they talk, so it makes them sound kind of idiotic. So let me give you guys a definition of passive income, so you guys can understand this conversation when I talk about Drewski and I talk about just as far as my fault, y'all. I didn't even do that. I'm gonna do this. Damn it. Let me get back. Let me get back. Hold up. We back yet? We back yet? My fault. All right, we back, y'all. I had to reconnect real quick. Pull over to the side of the road, so we don't do this while driving. Again, I don't. But let me pull up the definition of passive income because I think it's important for us to have a basis of reality before we start this conversation. Because you can't assume that everyone is financially literate or even intelligent at some points. Okay, so let's go to this. I'm on my other phone. Real quick. So, passive income definition. All right, here we go, y'all. I want to make something right. All right, listen to him saying, passive income is money earned with minimal ongoing effort. Listen to that. Passive income is money earned with minimal ongoing effort. Unlike active income where you have to trade your time for continuous wages, passive income requires upfront work or financial investment to set up, but after which it generates cash flow automatically. Real quick, I think the most important thing that we have is our time to do the research before we speak, so we don't sound bad. On YouTube, you have live streams, you have shorts, and you have long form video. 3 options of creating content on YouTube you have. A video, once you create it with I'm using the terminology of definition. A video, once you create it with the upfront investment, you never go back and touch that. And that video can make you money forever. Most likely will make you money forever. Let me give you an example. I made a video called A Black Man's Guide to Cartagena. The video got got over 1 million views. I probably invested anywhere between $4,000 and $5,000 in going on a trip, paying for all the activities, camera work. As far as like buying the SIM cards and all that stuff, probably like between $4,000 and $5,000. That video, before it was taken down, made me $8,000 and some change. After I put it up, I never touched it again. I didn't go back and re-edit the video. I didn't add stickers or anything to it. I didn't do anything to the video. I just let it go. It passively made me money until it was taken down. When I was a condo owner in Miami, I owned a condo on the water, West Avenue, 800 West Avenue. I can see the address now. Unit 905. I made a short in McDonald's. That short made me 29 million views on one short. The McDonald's meal probably cost me about $15 that day. So to make that short, because we can't really estimate how much time costs, 45 seconds is what the short was. And I made 29,000 views and $2,500. And it cost me $15 because that's what the meal costs at McDonald's. So anything above that $15 is passive income. If I make a live stream and I do a fundraiser, and of course it'll be fundraising over many times. Let's say I do one video, one live stream, and I do a fundraiser, and I make $1,000. 95 to 99% of the time, people don't go back and watch that live. Thus, if I want to make more money, I have to now create another live stream to get more money. I have to create another live stream because people are not going to watch that old live stream. I gotta create another live stream where I do a fundraiser. That is because having to create another live stream after the original investment means that it is not passive income. While the short is passive income because you don't have to touch it. While the video is passive income because you don't have to do anything after the initial investment. That live stream, in order to get more fundraising money, you have to do it again, which makes it working income. Okay, we spent enough time on that. Back now to the Drewski thing. Davis was one of the biggest creators when in the comedy section of the skit section around like 2018. Everyone was watching his skits and he was recording vertically. Vertically meaning, I guess vertically meaning the way you're looking at me now, basically. Davis either didn't want to fix what he presumed wasn't broken. Okay, I can't speak for him. Or he didn't see the long-term play of investing in himself to create better content rather than the content that's working. He didn't see the long-term play to create better content that would keep him around through any tough times. And the tough times came. Drewski wasn't as big, nearly as big as Davis between 2020 up to 2020. He wasn't nearly as big as Davis during that time. Nowhere near. He was an upcoming comedian, but he had the vision of a long-term play. The little money he did make in comparison to Davis, he reinvested in himself to create better content, to create better skits with more of a wide view, but he never stopped going. He never stopped the vertical. The vertical is the easiest way to do it because you got your phone. It's cheapest. Even how Davis would say it. But Drewski never stopped going vertical. He just added stuff to his catalog. He added horizontal. He added the short skits. He added the flair and all of that to it. Drewski now is the biggest in comedy on internet in that genre to this day. Davis, he still makes a decent amount of shorts, but it's no comparison. What can we learn from this? I'm telling you, time is undefeated. What can we learn from this? We can learn that if you invest in yourself and you don't just depend on the quick money, you will have a better long-term, or you will have a more long-term success. You will have more long-term success. Now we're gonna go through the woods, so it might get a little bit messed up. That's just how it is when we do these Jeep talks. Anybody that's watching it knows. For me, that is one thing I fully believe in. And then again, I believed in this before I even started creating content. Because as you guys know, I'm a real estate investor. I own dividends. I own some stocks. I used to own crypto. Because I knew that me working my 9 to 5, which I do still, we're going to work. I still believe you still working 9 to 5 until, for whatever reason you have. I knew that couldn't be something that I wanted to do when I'm 50 years old. I didn't want to be, me personally, and there's nothing wrong with it. I didn't want to be 40 years old having to having to request people to help me out so I could stay longer somewhere. I didn't want to be 40 years old not being able to live a lifestyle where I could treat myself to nicer things when I go places. So like when you guys see me in Cali, Colombia, y'all see me buying bottles. You ask anybody who's with me anywhere I go, I'm usually the person who's either paying or at least offering to pay for everything. But that's the lifestyle I choose. And there's no reason why, that's why I said there's no better or worse. But that's the lifestyle I choose. And to continue to have this lifestyle, I have to think long term. And anyone who wants a lifestyle like this, you have to think long term. How can I invest in myself to produce better content rather than just grabbing the money and being happy with the money I have now, as if that's something that's going to last forever. Shout out to Rillo. I actually had a conversation with on this channel. Very, very good conversation. And the conversation that we had stretched out over a lot of different topics. But the main concept was, if you want to last longer on this content field, you don't have to change who you are, but you have to understand what, this is my Jeep Rubicon, but you have to understand you need to create a better long-term strategy, because the quick money strategy works very well until it doesn't. I was just watching AB and Dean applying for Streaming University. Shout out to Streaming. Again, I don't want to get into the conversation for the next two minutes. I want to get really deep into the conversation, because this part is the only part where it messes up. So they could in and out. But if you, yeah, Rubicon, it won't be Rubicon. Watching because YouTube fixes the service when it happens. So give me about 1 minute, and then we'll start the conversation. We're gonna pick it up from the AB and Dean auditioning for Streaming University, because I think there's a lesson to be learned. Okay, I gotta mute the sound. Give me a second. There's a lesson. Do not disturb. There you go. There's a lesson to be learned in every interaction that you see. There's a lesson to be learned in another Jeep right there. In every interaction you see. All right, y'all. Give me a second. All right, 30 seconds. We should be out of the wood area. 1 second. All right. So we should be clear. All right. So I was watching AB and Dean. Right now, they're like the top streamers, live streamers in any space of content creation right now. I feel as though they're either the number one or they're in the top. Pause. They went to audition for Streaming University, and while it could have been a skit, while it could have been not the way it went, they may still be in it. I don't know what kind of setup it is. Kai illustrated a point that was very important. AB and Dean right now are at the top, but the type of content they do is very wild and energetic. They're making all the money right now. They're making all the stuff right now. They're on a platform that is allowing them to make all this money. But the type of content they make with the lust and the alcohol and the other stuff is not a type of content that can get you the bigger bag, the long-term play. Because when that corporation that they work for, we are on the platform, there's going to be an issue. It's like the tortoise and the hare. A lot of people never heard of that, where the tortoise got tired. The hare ran real fast, got tired, and fell asleep. And the turtle ended up winning the race because the hare was so enamored by the fact that he can go so fast and be in the lead. The way Kai